somebody wanted those stone spheres to be ruined forever, so people would not start asking questions, hey, who really made them? What was their purpose? And see that the same thing was happening here. From those beautifully shaped stone spheres, what we have today are just few of them that remain, intact. Most of them, all these pieces, are from some of the bigger or smaller stone spheres. So unfortunately, some of them they were taken by the private landlords and they're in their backyard. Some of them they are simply, broken. So unfortunately, less and less of this prehistorical archaeological phenomena is around us. Now, there are several questions. First, when they were shaped. In the case of volcanic stone and granite stone, it's almost impossible to say. But in the case of these stone spheres, we at the foundation, we don't deal with the theories, beliefs, hypotheses, but we do perform scientific analysis. 3 years back, we took samples from 4 different stone spheres and from the stone material, natural stone material which is around here. We wanted to compare the material from the stone spheres with the natural stones. And this is the conclusion that we got to. Out of 11 elements, 9 elements are the same between the stone spheres and the natural stone material. Their ratio, the percentage is pretty much the same. But there is a difference in 2 elements. The stone spheres have calcium carbonate, which, as you know, was used as the binding material. And plus they have element of mangan. Mangan, even today, it is used to enhance the hardness of materials. And our conclusion was that the stone spheres were made, they were put first in the liquid state, in the mold. That's how they got this perfect spherical shape. And then when they become solid, they were much stronger than surrounding material. Now, if they were made, now the question is, why would they make so many stone spheres? What was their purpose? It seems that the location of the stone spheres is always important. In the case of Costa Rica, there's a place which is known with the most storms and rainy weathers in that part of the world. So it seems that with the storms, with the energy surges, it has something to do with the stone spheres, plus with the underground river flows and energy produced by underground rivers. So there is a connection between stone spheres and the energy. There is a new science called biogeometry, which tries to investigate the effects of different geometrical shapes to the surrounding area. And we know the 2 most powerful geometrical shapes are the shape of the pyramid and the sphere. So both of them have things to do with the energy. In the case of the Bosnian Valley of the pyramid, we know that our pyramid does act as the energy amplifier using natural sources of energy. I don't know if Ricardo had a chance to talk to you, and I was not with you a week ago when you came, and I apologize about that. But what we have proven so far is that the pyramid acts as some type of the energy machine. It gets the energy sources, natural energy sources. For example, in the core of our planet we have magma. Magma creates magnetic energy. That's a natural source, we know that. But pyramid with its shape gets this magnetic energy, amplifying it several hundred times. With our colleagues from Russia, Professor Kavroshkin and Tsiplakov from the Schmidt Institute, we've done some testing in Egypt and Bosnia, and we measured the strength of the signal at the bottom of the pyramid and on the top of the pyramid. On the top, it is 500 times stronger than at the bottom, meaning that the pyramid with the shape, with the orientation to the north, east, west, north, south, and with the material, basically focuses all this energy coming to the top. The same thing happens with the underground water. You know, there are underground water streams under the Bosnian pyramid. The pyramid is it's sucking that energy, amplifying it, several hundred times. So that's the reason why the pyramids are considered today as a huge energy machine. It seems that the pyramids are big energy machines, and what we have here, the stone spheres in concentration, they act as the mini power plants. Most probably that was the purpose of the stone spheres. Of course, today they are not on the same position, on the actual original position, so probably they do not work anymore. But then some people can feel certain sensation being on the top of those stone spheres or around. So I would say a lot of phenomena that deserves to be investigated much deeper than what mainstream science tried to do. And when we first started the exploration of the Bosnian stone spheres, at that time in the northwestern part of the country near Banja Luka, the first reaction of the geologists was very nervous. They were saying, we know that they were made by Mother Nature, by wind and the water, that perfect spherical shape, and they were thinking we're going to stop without investigation there. But very soon we'll discover them on 20 different locations and from different materials. If Mother Nature can do sandstone, it cannot do volcanic or granite material. So I think there is much more to the ancient history than what they've been trying with all these methods of suppression. And a few words about our project in Visoko, since I haven't had a chance to talk to you. It's been 7 years now, and after a lot of obstacles in the first couple of 3 years, all these ministers and people from the museums, the Ministry of Culture in Bosnia, and the cultural establishment in general, they are kind of starting ignoring us now. In the beginning, they were very aggressively against the project, using all the means, to cut us permits, funds, boycotting media, to cut our ways to UNESCO. But fortunately, we did survive, and with the help of people like you are, who are coming from so many different countries and who feel that there is something really very important here. And I would say that people realize that we have huge values here. Whenever you have such a huge archaeological monument like Bosnian pyramids, that's something that do not belong to one little foundation or even one little country. That's the cultural heritage of the whole planet. The same thing with the Great Chinese Wall. It's not something that belongs only to Chinese. It belongs to the world. Or Egyptian pyramids, or Eiffel Tower, or Machu Picchu. The same thing with the Bosnian pyramids. It's something that belongs to all of us, and there is something that we can learn from that. Because if you go to the distant past, you realize that you did have more advanced civilizations. Sometimes only in constructions, but sometimes in astronomical, geometrical, mathematical areas. A lot to learn from them. Another thing which make our project unique is our openness to everyone. He said from the day one, this is not only archaeological project. Of course, archaeologists will do their part. But besides the classical scientific disciplines like archaeology, geology, paleontology, biology, and so on, we've been introducing satellite screening, thermal analysis, georadars, so very highly sophisticated analysis. And lately we realized that we needed help from physicists, from electrical engineers, people who know the energy phenomena, because they know how to detect and measure electromagnetic fields, ultrasound, infrasound, magnetic fields, and so on. Because the pyramid is getting those frequencies which you cannot find in the Mother Nature. If you find 28 kilohertz, you know that Mother Nature cannot produce that. It takes machines or something like that. So obviously the pyramid acts as a machine. But then 7 weeks back, at the end of April, we did an interesting experiment at the top of the Sun Pyramid. Okay, we knew that the pyramid generates the energy beam, 4.5 meter radius, 28 kilohertz frequency. So we knew the strength of the signal, the voltage, the radius, and we said, okay, if the pyramid acts as a machine, let's see what's going to happen if we send our signal to the pyramid. According to the physicists, you got two machines, you got the strength. They knew, or they thought that they knew what kind of signal they're going to get back. Well, for 2 days and 2 nights, and Ricardo was very active part of the group who performing the experiment. What we were doing, we were using our generators, sending the signal to the pyramid. And even though it will take another couple of months to process all the information, the preliminary results are telling us the following. According to the physicists, what we were expecting back was the voltage of 0.9 volts from the pyramid. What we got back was over 3 volts, meaning 3 times higher voltage. Now that was totally unexpected because, if they were just machines, you would know, you could project the result. But it seems that sometimes the pyramid behaves the way she wants, unexpectedly. So it's not only the machine, but an intelligent machine. Since Einstein, the mainstream science, or since our ancient civilization thousands of years back, to the spiritual science, we know that everything is energy. Our planet is huge energy ball. We are energy balls, humans, the trees, the energy, the stone is the energy. In the case of pyramids, they are extremely old and powerful energy. And the energy is always communicating. We communicate with the pyramid daily. We communicate with the underground labyrinth daily. Sometimes that's on the subconscious level, but the communication exists. The more we stay open, the more information we can get, and vice versa. If you stay closed-minded, you'll get no information. The pyramid will not talk to us. On the other hand, a lot of people are coming and they are getting their own experiences, and in this project, we don't try to convince anything to anyone. We want people to get their own feelings, their own experiences, and we don't want people to tell them, hey, we want you to believe this, we want you to tell this to the world. No. I mean, it's up to you guys, it's up to tourists, it's up to media, what kind of experiences they're going to get. Of course, you're going to tell them, hey, these are the analysis, the tests, radiocarbon datings we did, and it's up to them really to make their own mind. But we realized in order to understand such a huge complex like the one in this circle, and this one here, on the stone sphere source, we need to view them through 3 different realms. One is, of course, physical, materialistic, which relies on our 5 physical senses, and that's how mainstream science operates today. But that one is not enough. We need to add the energy aspect, and we need to add the spiritual aspect. And I think that's the only way to continue in the future with our project in Italy. You are the second group or second shift volunteers, as we call it. This summer we're going to have 7, and I know that you have produced a lot of good results. Maybe for you it's not too much, but for us every step counts. The first shift did really good, and the third one we expect more people. And I think this is a really unique project where good intentional people are given the opportunity to become very active part in this dynamic project. And most cases, important projects like this are simply the part of the elite time. I mean, you cannot just go to Giza Plateau in Egypt and start digging, or you cannot become a part of their team, because you have to be a professional archaeologist, the one who is selected for such important projects. The same thing in Mexico and China. Plus, when you go there, one thing I don't like is that people are so close. I mean, if you want to talk to the archaeologists or experts, first, you don't have a chance to do that. Secondly, you ask them questions they don't answer, or no smile on their faces. The way the mainstream science acts today, unfortunately, is based on fear. People are afraid what they're going to say. They're going to say something wrong. So, what their boss, general manager, dean, professor, director will say, and that's what makes our project here in Bosnia different. I mean, no fear. People can say what they want. We are open. There is always interaction between volunteers and tourists and media and local people, and we want to continue this way because I don't believe that the future of our planet is in elite science, in hiding information, in selection of the information. We need to try to make a free society of free men and women. The only way to do that is to base it on free energy and on free flow of information. And that's what we are trying to do here. If we found something, we make it visible to the world. So one more time, thank you for coming and helping us with this project. And we expect that we're going to have a really joyful time in Bosnia. And I'm glad that you are part of our summer solstice event. This year it was the first one, but I think that the energy that we felt on the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun was special. And at one moment, by the end of the event, I think that the pyramid started to vibrate with us, so it was a special moment, and I'm looking forward to the next year's summer solstice celebration, when I'm hoping we're going to have not 150 but maybe 500 people. So it's going to become hopefully the real celebration for the science and for the youth coming from all over the world and our openness, and I would say new times in science and in society. So one more time, thank you for coming here today. And since we are here deep in this little forest, we can stay another 30 minutes, 1 hour, as long as you want. Has anyone brought the guitar or a music instruments? No. Huh? There is coffee over there. Okay, so then I'll just leave you to 1 or 3 rounds for another 30-45 minutes, and after that we can go back to resort. Thank you very much.
Sorry, may I ask you something? I would like to know if in the other places, in Costa Rica or in Mexico, are there also pyramids nearby?
No. The stone spheres are always in very remote areas. In Costa Rica, that's the southern part of the country, no civilization, no any advanced society. It's hundreds of kilometers away. The pyramids, of course, were built in the Mayan world. It's much more to the north. Easter Island, no pyramids. New Zealand, no pyramids. Western parts of Mexico, no pyramids. Piedras Bolas is probably 250 kilometers from the closest pyramid. So I would make a comparison like if you need a place to produce or to generate big sources of energy, you don't necessarily have to have inhabitants there. You just pick up the place because it's energy very potent, and you place the pyramids or stone spheres to get the energy. So the same thing in Visoko. I don't expect to find cities with hundreds of thousands of people. I don't think so. Today we built our nuclear power plant away from the villages or cities. The same thing with the thermal and the hydropower plants. They are simply away, but they are places where our society thought, okay, this is a good place to build it because of the water, or coal was near, or simply it was far away from anything else. So I would say the pyramids, they would choose them for some reason, and the stone sphere places are important, because maybe a little bit less energy potent, but also important. So you don't have to be a direct connection in the sense, okay, you have pyramids, the stone sphere has to be there. I don't think there is a direct connection there. But the purpose, most probably the same.
I have two more questions if you have time.
Yes. Well,
In the Ravne tunnel, the building material, which was said that Tito, he filled it, he made it fill in. Do you know where
who said it?
Someone said it, that under Tito the entrances were filled. I understood like that. And I would like to know where the filling material comes from, if you know it.
No, it is KTK tunnel. Yeah. We thought the tunnel, but not Ravne, KTK.
Ah.
We weren't there.
Not in Ravne.
No, I understood it was in Ravne. Okay, I understood wrong. Yeah, yeah, okay.
In the case of original pyramids, because that's how I divide them, the mainstream science divides them as per they are saying different civilization. In Egypt, pharaonic Egypt built the pyramids. Of course, they had no knowledge or engineering skills to build the biggest pyramids. They say Moche civilization built Peruvian, Mayan built Mayan pyramids. That's the only thing where they are right. They are saying the Chinese emperors built pyramids in Shanxi province. That's wrong. Only the small pyramids in China were built by the emperors. The biggest one were built much before. So in the case of the original pyramids, like the Bosnian, there were always underground tunnels and chambers. They always followed. Like Giza pyramids, you have networks of tunnels below the Cheops, Khafre and Mycere, and they are connected to the Sphinx, to the Nile, and so on. Teotihuacan, network of tunnels under the Syria of pyramids. Saqqara, step pyramid, 8 kilometers underground labyrinth. The same thing in Bosnia, you have underground labyrinth. So there's a reason why the labyrinths exist in the case of original pyramids. The materials where those tunnels are built is always different. In the case of Ravne tunnels, we can see that the builders of the tunnels made those tunnels in the material that we call conglomerate. Conglomerate is a natural sedimentation. When you have a flood, water brings sand and pebbles and rocks. Water recedes, but those heavier materials remain there. There is another flood, they bring more material and more. You know, after thousands and tens of thousands of years, you have tens of meters of material. The material that remains below, due to the pressure, is becoming more compact. And then we call it conglomerate. So the tunnel builders went in there, removed the material, and built the network of tunnels that we can see today. That's the first civilization. There is a direct link between the tunnel builders and the pyramids. When they removed hundreds of thousands of tons of materials, because the network is tens of kilometers in length, what did they do with the material? They used it to make a concrete blocks on the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. Because next time you go to the tunnel and the pyramid, look at the material. Conglomerate consists of stones and rocks and pebbles of different colors. Brown and white and red and green and pink, all different colors, different minerals, and different sizes. Big one, medium, small one. When you go on the Sun Pyramid, look at those concrete blocks. All different colors, different sizes. So that's direct connection between the construction materials for the Sun Pyramid. All they needed on the Sun Pyramid was the binding material, something to put them together, like a glue, like a connecting material. So connecting material, we know exactly what they use, because they have analyzed samples at 6 different labs in France, Italy, and Bosnia. They all explained this technological process. They said they use construction material, and as a binder, they use clay. Clay, they ground it, they mix with the water, heat up to 400 degrees, and then in that liquid state, clay is getting binding properties. So they mix the clay with the binding, with those construction materials. And we have similar things today, you know, when you're mixing, you know, those mixers, when you're preparing the concrete to pour, and then when you pour it, the biggest pieces remain on the bottom. So they come on the top of the blocks. And that's why you have the bigger pieces, like our sonda number 5, the one to the right. You can see the bigger pieces on the top, on the surface. So the technological process and actually the pouring process were obviously very, very similar. So now we explained the first civilization. They built a huge network of tunnels. They removed hundreds of thousands, if not millions of tons of materials. They covered, they coated the biggest pyramid on the planet. There's a direct link. It happened over 12,000 years ago. After that, there was another civilization who decided, for some reason, to fill in all those tunnels with that material. Now, again, that material is very similar. They got it most probably from riverbeds. Stones and rocks and pebbles and sand and clay. They got it there and they fill up all these side tunnels. What they would do, they fill in, let's say, 10 meters, they build a wall. Another 10 meters, they build a wall. They come to intersections, they build 2, 3 walls.